Alrighty guys, we're back for Selesnya Enchantments, and this is a Duskmourn standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion over in the Discord. So thank you so much for the suggestion, it's gonna be a fun one. With Selesnya Enchantments, we get to visit Calix again. Let's go. 3 mana, 2/2, legendary creature with Constellation. So whenever it or an enchantment you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and then if Calix or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn, of course. That is gonna be pretty powerful when we can copy like our top end creatures like Enduring Innocence. Funny to call this little 3-drop a top end, but that's what the deck list is trying to do. 3 mana 2/1 with a lifelink. Whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. Nice. Of course, this ability triggers only once each turn, but then also when Enduring Innocence dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. It gives us a little note that does in fact mean that it's no longer a creature. This is like the 3rd time I'm playing with Enduring Innocence already since the set released. And the set release, by the time this video goes up, it'll be like last week. So it tells you how much I actually like this little guy. I think it'll do the thing in here for sure. So we have 3 Elvish Archivists in here. This is a 2 mana 0/1. Whenever one or more artifacts you control enter, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. And also, whenever one or more enchantments you control enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. So lots of ways to keep our hand nice and stocked, and we do have ways to get artifacts on the board in here, like Mirrex, for example, over here in the mana base, but then also Skrelv's Hive making the cut this time round. So, 2 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. And you create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. It has Corrupted, so as long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with Toxic have a lifelink as well. Now, we don't have like a big Toxic theme outside of the Skrelv's Hive and the Mirrex, but still, I think it'll do the thing in here. And then also, as you're generating those artifacts, you're also boosting the Archivist too, so pretty neat. Now, our choice spot removal, not a lot packed in, but we do have all 4 sheltered by ghosts. 2 mana enchantment aura, enchant creature you control. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until sheltered by ghosts leaves the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has a lifelink, and the important part, has ward 2 as well. That is pretty solid, man. Now, outside of that ward 2, we do have a lot of other protection packed in for our creatures. We have all 4 royal treatments. So target creature gets hexproof, then you create that royal roll token attached to it, which happens to be an aura. So it works with all the enchantments in here, which is pretty cool. The royal roll also gives ward 1 too, which does go a long way, honestly. More protection with Shardmage's Rescue. 1 mana aura with flash. Enchant creature you control. As long as it entered this turn, enchanted creature has hexproof. Beautiful. And then also enchanted creature gets +1/+1 too. Cool stuff, man. Ways to give our creatures trample with Audacity. Always been a pretty good aura. And then ways to boost our creatures with Optimistic Scavenger. 1 mana 1/1 with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Nice. Other ways to boost our creatures. Ethereal Armor, 1 mana aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike as well. That's also going to be a pretty solid one to copy with the Calix. A similar concept to how powerful we know copying Audacity is. Although, if you already have Audacity on the creature and an armor, and you copy the armor, that creature's getting quite a boost, you know what I mean? First strike also goes a very long way. Okay, guys, the rest of the mana base, outside of the Mirrex, we of course have normal mana fixing, like Razorverge Thicket. Early land's going to be important. We do have the Hushwood Verge, which is the new Selesnya land. Taps for a green, but it also taps for a white. Activate only if you control a forest or plains. So if you only see the Hushwood Verge, then you're only seeing green sources, right? So definitely something to consider when you're setting up the mana base like this. Outside of that, I think we're usually going to be able to tap this for both Selesnya colors. We have 8 plains and 4 forests. Also, the Valgavoth's Lair, making the cut again as a 1-of. It is an enchantment land. It has hexproof. It enters tapped, unfortunately, which isn't really something you want in an aggro deck list like this, but that's fine, because it is an enchantment land, you know? Now, as it enters, you choose a color, so more mana fixing as it taps to add 1 mana of the chosen color. Okay, is that everything already? Nice. Over here in the honorable mentions, guys, more removal. Never hurts. So, Ossification is a card I thought about. Banishing Light, card I thought about. Brushland, card I thought about. I probably put this over here to talk about the fact that if you don't have the Verge yet, then Brushland totally works. I'm guessing, I'm guessing that's why I had the Brushland over there. Not 100% certain right now. Yeah, 22 total mana should totally be enough. Uh-oh, guys, we did not change our cosmetics. Well, what do we want here? Selesnya enchantments. I don't want to bore you guys while finding this stuff. Hold up. Let me pause the video and set this up. There we go. That matches Selesnya a little bit better than what I had before. Anyways, guys, I do my damnedest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. What am I expecting from the build? I have no idea. I'm hoping it's pretty darn good. Oh, I like this hand a lot, so heck yeah. We start with that Scavenger, for sure. Might have an early pickup with the Sheltered by Ghosts, which might be worth it because of the Ward 2 onto the Scavenger. Oh, totally worth it here, right? Totally. Yeah. Counter onto the Scavenger. And a decent swing. We'll consider Audacity if they get a good chump blocker down. Outside of that, getting the Enduring Innocence. Or Enduring. So pop hatch second forest here. Yeah, popping the Scavenger is going to be hard this early. For green. Gonna be a bushwhack. Find a basic land. We pass it back. Oh, okay. Verge is good. I wonder... Yeah, no, this is good. Outside of Audacity, just getting Innocence down. Totally fine here. If we see more creatures, too. Alright, opponent's down to 13. We're at 27. It's feeling good, but, I mean, we could flood out or something. If we do find more mana next turn, we want to consider the Mirrex, get a 1/1 draw off the Innocence. Trailblazer, they're going to go ahead and fight here. Now, luckily, Innocence becomes a enchantment, so we'll still get the card draw. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Oh, no, it's not. Wow. Ethereal Armor. Wow. Holy cow, dude. That's brutal. All our eggs in one basket. Should we risk it? With Ward 2, they actually have the Trailblazer around now. Risking it. Yes, we risk it. We're going for it. All our eggs into one basket. This is actually kind of crazy, man. Oh, that we're forcing a block. That's what we're doing. We're forcing a block, dude. 13. Holy cow. Holy cow, dude. So it still might be really tricky for them to actually fight this Scavenger next turn, because I don't even know how they would begin to fight the Scavenger. What a first game. That was a really good top deck. Let's be real. The Ethereal Armor was like the top deck that we needed to like close this game against mono green, right? Because if we were up against if they dropped some swamps over there or something, then we could just, it could still just be mana, go for the throat, pay the 2, and that's it. So, but against mono green where they just got fights and bites, I think the opponent has left the building. Oh, jeez. Jeez. I really want to see, Yeah, yeah. I guess I did want to see more of the opponent's deck list, but I don't think we're going to, unfortunately. We'll go ahead and pause the recording, see if the opponent shows up. The opponent did not arrive, guys. The 13 damage went through there. Well, GG opponent. Oh, man. Let's keep the ball rolling, huh? That would have been like a pretty cool game to see Calix and stuff, too. We didn't, honestly, we didn't see too much. We just kind of curved out properly. It was good. Yeah, we didn't, see, a large variety of our deck list, I guess, is how I should put it. Yeah, with our limited number of creatures, these protection spells seem like it should be really good for us, right? I don't know if Scavenger survives the turn, but that doesn't mean that we wait for turn 2 to try it. It might mean that after some test games, we decide it's much better to wait till turn 2 to try it, but... They pass it back. Wow. That's not what usually happens. With the rescue, that'll be the protection in white, so we can totally go Audacity here. Double block. If it's burn spell on the stack, we shouldn't go armor. We'd get completely blown out, right? We should just keep the rescue open and available. I hope that's an okay... I hope that's an okay thing to do. A white source off the top would be huge for us, but not even for the Innocence, just so that way we have everything else that we want open. I'm tempted by the rescue for the turn just to maximize damage. Since they're tapped out here. Our Scavenger has Trample, and our Armor is going to get an extra boost to the Scavenger too. GG opponent, wow. Another green source off the top is concerning for the mana base, for sure. Hey, ranking up. Nice. The best way to rank up is accidentally. So, we only have 4 forests in the build. I don't know how often that's going to happen, but definitely something to consider. But also at this point, since we saw so many basics, that means all of our verges are, yeah, Verge, right? That's what the new land's called. All of those are now just really good dual lands, so we have all 4 of those packed in. Anyways, opponent at 16, Royal Treatment could have been an extra 2 damage because of the counter, plus the Royal Roll, and then the Ethereal Armor with the Royal Roll, the Rescue, and the Audacity, and the Armor is going to be +4/+4, so that's another 6, and then another... Right, another 1 from the counter, too. So what was that, 13? Would it have been 13 damage coming through next turn? That's kind of crazy, man. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. It seems good so far. Those games felt faster than the Azorius enchantments, which I'm a little surprised about. But, I mean, our deck list is doing a very dedicated thing here. We go first. 3 Sheltered by Ghosts, 1 creature. We're doing it, man. We're risking it. Heck yeah. We gotta go plains first. Right? Because if they pop Scavenger before it passes back, this is a terrible hand. No! Oh, crap. Oh, crap. All right, passes back to the opponent. Nothing in our hand. Oh, crap, guys. Maybe I should have mulliganed looking for a second creature, but... You guys see that? The pet, when you click on him, it grabs a balloon out of its mouth. I didn't notice that yet. Okay, Carrot Cake. Oh, buddy, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. First of all, Boros token control still looking completely legit. without actually having anything on this board state and just kind of letting them go for the turns. See if that Urbrask Forge lands right on time here. It sure does. Wow. That happens a lot, guys. Turn 2 Carrot Cake, turn 3 Forge. It's a legitimate curve. That's pretty scary, especially when, now that Forge is established, they can go ahead and get down the Caretaker's talent as well. Okay, we'll call white on the Lair, I guess? No, I guess green would have made more sense since we have a plains here, but I mean, our hand just has so many white sources that I think it's totally fine. I also think we're in serious danger, as there's no guarantee that we see a creature for like the next 8 turns or something, so Caretaker's Talent. Yeah, we're seeing the other side of this deck list right now, and that is we need to prioritize our creatures no matter what. So saving it until I had protection would have worked out much, much better, guys. So this could easily be my fault. Easily. If I would have just waited for turn 2, we would have had protection ready. That doesn't mean that their deck list can't get around the protection, though. All right, it's still like a Brotherhood's End style deck list. Sunfall is often run because Caretaker's Talent draws off the token from the Sunfall, and then we get to watch the opponents activate level 2 and try to copy their 0/0 token. And that happens a lot too. Okay, they're gonna go at the draw with the Caretaker's Talent. Yeah, we're playing it out too because luckily Boros Token Control knows how to get damage through. It's not like one of those incredibly long-winded control lists. It can be, don't get me wrong. It can go back and forth. But it knows how to plug damage through, so. Hey, look at our little buddy. There he goes, just our little sheep, our little lamb buddy. Adorable. We got something. That's important. However, level 3 on the Caretaker's Talent, the Trample's probably going to get them there on the Forge anyways. We have no way to give Indestructible to our poor little Enduring Innocence. So is it Royal Treatment or the Rescue? I guess it would be Royal Treatment, because it doesn't really matter, right? Either way, they both give like the +1/+1, give hexproof for the turn. Just on the stack, they're going to go ahead pop it anyways. Yeah, it's one of those things, right? We just waited way too long. And even if we didn't, I think we would have had an uphill battle here for sure. But all that is very, very noteworthy. Some things, right? If we were up against a deck list that doesn't run a lot of board wipes, like, I guess we can easily get above the Brotherhood's End with the Scavenger, right? If I would have waited for turn 2, it's pretty easy to get above the 3 damage. But as far as Sunfall goes, if we started picking up their cards with Sheltered by Ghosts, as soon as that Sunfall lands, they get all the cards back. See, that would have just been absolutely brutal, right? So, good game, opponent. Yeah. Everything I said, very noteworthy. Onwards to the next one. The games have been fast so far, which is awesome. So, for anyone who's been playing the new enchantments, where have you guys landed? The last enchantment build I did was last week. It was like the day after the set release. It was Azorius Enchantments, and in that video I brought up I love enchantments, and to give me some suggestions for some, and some of those suggestions were Bant suggestion sounds really, or Bant enchantments sounds really fun. I did add that to my list. Maybe I'll visit that next week. We can't do too many enchantment builds in the same week, you know what I mean? And then Esper enchantments as well with Zur. That sounds really fun too. So let me know, what have you guys been playing? Oh, I'm gonna get rid of the forest. Yeah, 22 mana. Yeah, totally enough in here. Verge, totally fine. Oh, I'm about to make the same mistake. That's okay. That's totally fine. Let's get that Scavenger down. Here's why it's fine. No protection in hand. No guaranteed protection in hand. Up against discard 2, so their curve looks a little different. We don't want to discard 2 lands, so discarding one of these is fine. Picking up I guess it's Audacity, I guess. That's really tough. I don't want to lose the Enduring Innocence, though. I know that much. Picking up the Bandit's Talent could be really... Picking up anything could be really risky. But I want the Ward, too, on the Scavenger. Maybe we just, I guess it doesn't really matter. We are going to be forced... you can't submit 0 on this. Hopefully, we're okay picking that up. I feel like it's not worth not doing. That makes sense, right? Like, we don't want to hold the Sheltered by Ghosts in hand and just swing for 1, right? I don't know. Here's the problem, right? They could have played Swamp, Liliana, Sacrifice gets around the ward anyways. All right. One of the Enduring Innocence. Opponent. Dude, that was anyone's game. Like, period there, right? They missed their third, so maybe that's why. I have no idea. I'm a little upset about that. I gotta be 100%. I really wanted to play that one out. I was thinking one of the Enduring Innocence. That way we at least have the third mana play one of them. I'm not sure what that concede was about. I don't even think we used a timer or anything. So, yeah. GG opponent. I mean, I'll take the victory, but I really do like to play the game of Magic as well. So, all right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Bring some discard. I want to test the list against discard. Skrelv's Hive. Ooh. You know what we've been seeing a lot of still? Azorus Control. I feel like Skrelv's Hive is going to be terrific against Azorus Control. We're keeping this, dude. We get to test a completely different side of this deck with this hand. Because we actually have Calix in hand, too, so... yeah, I'm not mad about this at all. Off-patch Recruit. Mana fix into the Innocence. Before the Calix, right? Might of the Meek on a Recruit. So Gruul Mice, maybe. Monstrous Rage. Good stuff. It's not a bad turn at all. Turn 2, 5 damage is no joke. Okay, we don't need to mana fix now that we got the planes. We might as well get the planes down then. For now. And Innocence is pretty good. It's a slow turn, but it's not terrible. Even if they have removal for the Innocence, Skrelv's Hive will still draw us an extra card next turn. Audacity. Holy cow, dude. We're in trouble. We really, really are. Demonic Ruckus. The Menace gets around. No chance of a chump block there. Down to 7. Draw a card. Royal Treatment after Royal Treatment. Hey, Elvish Archivist. Cool. With this hand, though, we got to get the Calix down. No, I'm trying to tap for mana of any color. I will gladly tap this green. Calix. Pretty cool. Target creature, so extra lifelink. Royal Roll, or yeah, the roll would also get us some extra lifelink here. These guys can't block, so we're swinging with those anyways. I'd rather go Royal Treatment to stop instant removal for Calix, though. So we keep that open. We get that through. We're up to 10. How you guys feel about all that? Should we have just kept the Innocence as a blocker instead? Oh, you know what, though? I missed this. I did. I missed the fact that the Royal Roll would have been an enchanted creature, so Calix would have been able to copy one of our enchantments, which would have been the Innocence, right? So, yeah. Oh, Menace gets through. Oh, we might die here. Monstrous Rage easily kills us. Wow. Wow. They're going to throw it. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered if we got another Enduring Innocence anyways. A good game, opponent. Let's just play the Royal Treatment, show them what we had open. Oh, I should have done it. It would have been an extra... It would have been an extra counter, too. And then we could have double blocked. Hold up, guys. That could have easily been my fault. But also, even if I would have played it out more efficiently, the opponent's deck list still could have been incredibly explosive. So there's no guarantees based on, we just don't know what they had in hand at the time either. So, but here's a line of play. When we swung with the Innocence, we could have went Royal Treatment. It got the roll for Calix whenever it or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player. This now would have been enchanted with the roll. We could have copied the Enduring Innocence. It would have been a 2/1 with lifelink, right? And we would have been able to plug an extra counter onto this too. So we would have gained an extra 2, right? Right now we're at -4, so the extra 2 doesn't matter. However, if we were able to double block, we would have taken less trampling damage. We would have gained another 2 from the lifelink on the Innocence. Again, we don't know what's in the opponent's hand, though. We really don't. But I do think that game, based on what we saw after the fact, did come down to my play by holding that back. Interesting, like, everything. Everything was interesting about that one, right? We got to see the completely different side of the deck list. And it's like, it's kind of performing, right? I think so. Performing pretty well. Okay, opponent goes first. Nothing wrong with this outside of the fact that we don't have any protection in hand. Not going to stop me, though. Look at this. Great turn, too. If we get to keep this Scavenger around. Elspeth Smite is likely open. It usually is. So getting above the Elspeth Smite isn't terrible. That's going to be hard to do. But I'm going for it. We're going to try. All eggs into one basket. Elspeth Smite is 3 damage, not 4. Nice. I bet that's what it was. How do you guys feel? Feel like it was an Elspeth Smite? Back up to 17. Skrelv's Hive. With 2 open, Counterspell is probably what's going to happen here. Skrelv's Hive really should be the priority, but just based on what else we have in hand, getting the Calix down is pretty valuable. Calix also doesn't get picked up by, if I plug over here, maybe, oh, it's gonna be 4 counters. We're still playing around an Elspeth Smite, guys. Holy cow. Holy cow. I will gladly copy that Ethereal Armor, and I will plug it onto the Calix because temporary lockdown. But I guess temporary lockdown also picks that up anyways, right? So I guess everything onto the Calix then at that point. Calix has a huge target on his back, but look at everything else on this board. Yeah. We could have gotten excess damage through that turn, but we have to, yeah, the temporary lockdown, right? So just everything onto Calix because it doesn't get picked up by the lockdown. That makes a lot of sense, actually. GG, opponent. GG, buddy. Good stuff, man. So what I was probably going to do for the turn... Man, this is fast. This feels fast, right? Enduring Innocence was probably the play since we had 4 mana, so we still had the Royal Treatment. So Enduring Innocence, +1/+1 counter, gets it to a 6/6. Royal Treatment, 7, extra counter, 8/8. That's it. That's all we needed. 2 enchantments to land, and one of them boosting it by a couple, right? So we did have lethal that turn. Crazy stuff, dude. 29 minutes in. Did I bring this up yet? Did I bring up... I totally forget, because this is like the 3rd video I'm recording today. But hey, while I have you here in the middle of the video, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but make sure you check out that description. We do got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link, too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way, or joining either of those up. And then also, while we're talking the YouTube nonsense, make sure, if you like the video, that you drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. We go first, and it's fine. I'm keeping it. Oop. I guess we start with the plains. Doesn't, I guess it doesn't really matter since we don't necessarily have a turn 1 here, but Leyline of Resonance. All right, all right. We're fine. Everything's fine. Okay. So no setup from them from that turn. We'll get our setup down, though. Even if it's not a turn 2 win, it could still be really, really fast with the Leyline of Resonance on the board. All right. Innocence, and then draw extra next turn. Calix could be extra damage. No. Yeah, it's set up. It's set up. I think we're in a lot of trouble if we don't find some life gain here, guys. So we need that extra draw immediately. As a matter of fact, we could die right here, right now. If they play like a mountain, of course, right? Because they need to boost it one more time and then throw it. Oh no, they just throw it. It's actually just game. Because Show Off buffs itself again. Crap, guys, crap. Oh no. Well, we tried. Even if we had life gain, I mean, that's gonna be really, really tough to pull off, right? Like if I had instant speed spot removal in hand, we don't have instant speed spot removal in this deck list, by the way. So depending on how much of a problem the Leyline's going to be, that's always something to consider. And I got to be 100% with you guys. It really hasn't been a big problem for me yet, right? It probably should be more of a problem, but I just haven't seen it too much. And the mono red we're going up against is missing their Leyline in their opener, so I don't know. I don't know where it is. Maybe it'll take a couple weeks for it to start popping up more. But it's like I said when I played the Leyline build. I said after playing it, I'm a little bit less afraid of Leyline. So we'll see. We'll see where it ends up landing. Who knows? We go first. Fine hand. Totally fine. The hands have been pretty good, actually, overall, right? All right. Thicket. Okay, Backstreet. Hive, get the ball rolling, right? I think so. Because we'll have Elvish Archivist next turn. Or we could have went Archivist and then went for draw on the armor. This works too, though. Let's get the Archivist down. And keep protection open, I would say. Against Mardu colors, protection is more important. If we go armor, then they just go instant speed spot removal and make us cry. You know, I don't think that they end up doubling down on cut down here, so I think, nice. Got that hexproof, got the card draw. We got some good setup here. I recommend removing the Archivist before our next turn, which is what they do. They find a sorcery speed removal, which works really well. All right, let's go with Calix. Boost the 1/1. Armor, since they're tapped out, because the ward 1 they had to pay. Go for it, right? Let's do it. Copy the armor. Take action, and we'll copy the Skrelv's Hive. Actually, never mind. You know what would have been a little better? At least putting one of those counters on Calix so Brotherhood's End doesn't pick us up, right? Because temporary lockdown's one thing, and that could be pretty devastating. Oh, it is a temporary lockdown. Crap, we lose all of the Skrelv's Hives too, guys. That's not good. Luckily, we still got a lot in hand. The question is, like, how safe do we want to keep it with the Calix? After that, it's not worth keeping it safe. We're just going for it, man. We're going for it. At any point, the opponent could win anyways. Let's do it. Let's go. Come on, Calix. What are we copying? The ward? No, the roll. The rolls replace themselves, so you just want to copy the Ethereal Armor. A 15/15 Calix with ward 1 is probably out of here. No. That's like I said, how safe do you want to play it? Not even worth playing it safe, because if we would have kept the Royal Treatment open, it would have hit Sunfall anyways. Yeah, GG opponent. I can't imagine a comeback at this point, right? They go ahead, power up the 1/1. They're going for the swing. Treatment. If we have like 3 more turns somehow, they're going back up to 11. Let's concede after the next turn, depending on if they get a big chunky creature down. Yeah, no creature, more land. Let's hop into one more game, guys. Drop them the GGs. Concede. I don't like conceding, but every now and then, first of all, the games have been so fast, I want to get another game in, like, period. But then also, it depends on, like, how much damage the opponents are actually getting through, too. No chunky creatures on their side. That game could easily go on for another 10 turns. And what are the odds of us winning? Very, very low. We don't have haste in this build, so... One more match. One more match, win or lose. I'm very satisfied, dude. Opponent goes first. We're going to wait for our turn 2 for the Scavenger this time. We're going to try to make up for that one game earlier where we lost the Scavenger needlessly. Double green on the board. Royal Treatment. We're going to call green here. Go plain Scavenger, keep the Royal Treatment open. Just based on this hand, I think the extra green source will be a little better. All right, I hope it's not Scavenger, spot removal now, and then spot removal on their turn 2, because that's very possible in Golgari. We're in trouble. We're in trouble, bro. All right. Yep. Let's see the Scavenger survive the turn. It survived! Let's go! Against Golgari, that's huge. Okay. Well, no matter what, we want to keep that white mana open for the rescue now. And we're going to go Audacity. Actually, Audacity, extra counter. Do we go all in because Ethereal Armor will boost by 4? No, we don't, right? We do that next turn? Next turn. If for some reason we were pushing like lethal this turn with the Ethereal Armor, then maybe. Oh, that's fine. Let's see it, opponent. 4th mana. Start with the swing because they get the map. This, all this extra... Oh, crap. They get to pick something out of our hand. It's probably the Ethereal Armor. I'm just gonna let them... I'm gonna let them pick. If they choose Rescue, that's one thing. I don't think their 1 mana... I don't think their cut down's gonna hit our 9/5. So I think it's the Armor. Without double white on the board, which actually comes down to our Lair play earlier. It's not like we can boost the Scavenger high enough right now anyways. They're also going to have enough to block here regardless, so I think we're going to need to keep this protection open still somehow. Oh, Calix. Wow. That's pretty good. We play Calix. Boost the Calix. Right, we can't put all our eggs in one basket now since they have so many blockers anyways. We want to spread this. It was either Calix or keep the rescue open and that's it. And that would have been our whole turn. So just like establishing Calix, I think gives us a little bit more of a chance here. So no matter what, They go for the double block, guys. We're going to draw off the Audacities. We're still getting 3 through. And also, we get to copy an enchantment, but we lose all of our enchantments, so we actually don't have any on the board to copy with the Calix. So we can take that action, but there's nothing to grab with that. Oh, there is the Lair. We can call white on the Lair. That's sick. I completely forgot about that. Uh-oh. We didn't find protection, though, for the Calix, which is probably going to die. At that point, our hope would be Skrelv's Hive. Seeing the forest there isn't great. I mean, obviously, seeing the plains is much more likely in this build. It is, in fact, not my go, opponent. It is your go. Unless we're bugging out. Unless you're trolling, which I guess is a possibility too, right? Yeah, the opponent is running down the timer. There they are. Grapple Wastes. Aquazotes. Ew. That's gross. We don't have a way to give trample to the Calix, unfortunately. So no removal for that is huge, first of all. They're definitely going to block. But at least we'll have 2 instances of protection open. That's a 10-10 with First Strike. Oh, wow. So they don't even gain life here, guys. Yeah, we're not even going to play the Skrelv's Hive because if they double down... Dude, First Strike, always underrated. It really, really is. So, we only have 1 white source available on the board. I'm not even going to play Skrelv's Hive. I want both of our protection spells available in case they double down on removal. They have so much mana, they could triple down on removal, I guess, but we'll see. The Cavern Bat, get out of my hand, opponent! Alright, we let them take 1 of our pieces. We also need a way to get this Calix through. Losing both Audacities there was actually terrible, right? I take the Royal Treatment. Demolition Field. Nothing else from the opponent for the turn. Not even the map token, guys. Alright. Skrelv's Hive. Number 1. Boost the Calix. Keep the rescue open. I mean, we kind of have to, right? Oh, they're not going to chump with the Deep Cavern Bat. They're going to chump with the Restless Cottage to make sure that the Royal Treatment stays out of our hand. What a game, huh? I'm tempted by the second Skrelv's Hive, but it's just, yeah, we just got to keep the rescue. That's it. Kind of on the edge of my seat, guys. They find a forest. GG, opponent. There we go. Seeing that Calix was huge for us. Just getting another creature down, that was very, very good stuff. Awesome last game against Golgari. Heck yeah, I had fun. Heck yeah. All right, let's go over this deck list again. All right. Selesnya Enchantments. Guys, this was, in fact, I brought this up at the beginning, but sometimes I like to bring it up at the end too because we just have so much darn fun with it. Thank you again for the suggestion. It was a suggestion over in the Discord, so thank you, thank you. It was, in fact, a fun one. I like the Elvish Archivist, and I like pairing it with the Skrelv's Hive. That's a really neat little combo in here. A little bit of a synergy, boosting the Archivist, but while also easily drawing off the Archivist with all these extra enchantments. The protection between Royal Treatment and the Shardmage's Rescue really just kind of the MVPs in this build, outside of like Ethereal Armor, which gives massive boosts to things. Of course, pairing that with Audacity, giving those massive boosts now with Trample as well. It's just kind of insane. And then all while you're boosting your creatures, you're also just dumping +1/+1 counters onto your creatures with a Scavenger or 2 on the board or Calix, right? all while restocking your hand with Enduring Innocence and Archivist. Holy cow, man. Cool stuff. Very nice. Now, here's the question, though, right? Is it good enough to not go on to the Do Not Craft list, right? So, or another way of saying it, does it belong on the Do Not Craft list, or did it perform well enough today to say, yeah, go for it? Well, let's take a look at how expensive it is. Enduring Innocence. First of all, this is like the third deck list that I've put all 4 of these into. You guys could tell I really like this little sheep buddy. For me, the Innocence was totally worth the craft so far, but we don't know where the meta's settling just yet. In the first couple weeks, it's really hard to tell where it's settling, and it's really hard to tell what deck lists are going to be worth it. I also have a rare in the Lair, which I'm still not sure if it was worth it, but it was totally worth it in that last game. Copying the Lair with the Calix was actually just a cherry on top, right? It was just, yeah, it was good stuff. It was having our cake and eating it too. I liked it. I would keep it as a one of, but is it going to be worth it always? I have no idea. Maybe. You don't want too many of them because you don't want to slow down those early turns too much, but now, a limited amount of removal in the list as well is pretty tricky. Also, Archivist is a rare that we don't really get to see outside of... I mean, it's a card that you just don't get to see too often of, so would this be worth the craft? Probably not. At that point, you're taking out some of the card draw, but you could probably replace it with some other great 2-drop, maybe a 2-drop that can remove things as well. If you're dropping some of the green, though, you're going to probably need to rearrange the mana base too, so that's tricky. Outside of that, we got, okay, Mythic on the Calix. We got Rare, of course, on the Dual Lands, which can always be used in other builds. Mirrex, Lair. Rare is the Innocence, as well as the Archivist, as well as the Skrelv's Hive, which is also another one that we don't get to see too much in builds. But so it is a lot of rares. It's a chunk. But what else do we got? We got uncommons, 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 everything else in here is uncommon. This is a tough one, though. I had such a freaking blast. I really don't want to put it on the Do Not Craft list. And here's the reality of the situation. Maybe just put everything on the Do Not Craft list for a couple weeks until we figure out what the meta looks like, right? So that's an easy way. I guess I'm taking an easy out, right? Now, if you already had a lot of the cards, if you already had all 4 Calix and stuff, then maybe it would be worth crafting everything else up, but still might struggle against certain matches, so. Because I actually don't have too much to say. The matches showcased the deck list perfectly, and like all angles of the deck list too, so I just don't have much else to say. It performed. I liked it a lot, so yeah. All right, guys. Hey, enough rambling, huh? Let me know what you thought of the deck list down in the comments. What would you add or take out? How could we make this more budget friendly, you know? Yeah, maybe just more removal or something, more cheap removal, enchantment removal and stuff. All right, guys. Hey, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.